Let's get one thing straight right now. You cannot land on Jupiter. There is no ground, no surface, no solid rock waiting for your boots, nothing. So if you fell in, you wouldn't crash. You would fall, and keep falling for thousands of miles, while the biggest, most violent planet in the solar system crushed you out of existence, 1 mile at a time. No bottom, no landing, no mercy. This is Jupiter, and it is going to kill you in ways the other planets can only dream of. So let's do it. Let's jump in. But first, you need to understand what you're jumping into. Jupiter is a monster. This planet is so enormous you could line up 11 Earths across its face and pour more than 1,000 Earths inside it with room to spare. It is more massive than every other planet in the solar system combined. Twice over. This isn't just the king of the planets, it's a failed star that never quite caught fire. And here's the key to everything. Jupiter isn't made of rock like Mars or Venus. It's a giant ball of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, the exact same stuff the Sun is made of. Which is why there is nowhere to stand. Fall toward Jupiter and there's no line where the sky ends and the ground begins. The air just gets thicker and thicker and thicker until it kills you. But hold on, because Jupiter starts trying to kill you long before you ever reach those clouds. Here's the first killer, and you can't even see it coming. Jupiter is wrapped in the most intense radiation belts in the entire solar system. Its magnetic field is a beast, thousands of times more powerful than Earth's, and it traps a storm of charged particles so deadly that our spacecraft need heavy armor just to survive a few close passes. You have no armor, fly in unshielded, and you'd absorb a lethal dose of radiation before you even touch the atmosphere. Invisible, silent, already inside you, rewriting your cells. But radiation is the slow killer. It would take days to finish the job. And trust me, Jupiter is not going to give you days, because now you hit the clouds, and everything goes wrong at once. First, you can't breathe. There's no oxygen here, just hydrogen and helium. And your lungs have absolutely nothing to work with about 15 seconds. That's how long you'd stay conscious. Take a breath, and you're not inhaling air. You're inhaling a planet that has zero interest in keeping you alive. Second, it is savagely cold. The cloud tops sit at around 230 degrees below zero. That's the kind of cold that freezes you the instant it touches you. And now you start to fall for real. Jupiter's gravity is about 2.5 times stronger than Earth's, so it grabs you and yanks you downward faster than you have ever moved in your life. You are plummeting headfirst into the largest, most powerful storm system anywhere in the solar system. And what a storm it is. Jupiter's atmosphere is torn apart by winds screaming at hundreds of miles an hour. Faster than any hurricane that has ever hit Earth. You'd be thrown, spun, and slammed through band after band of shrieking multicolored cloud with no control and no way to stop. And somewhere out there in the chaos, you might catch a glimpse of the most famous storm in the solar system, the Great Red Spot. A single hurricane so colossal that the entire planet Earth could disappear inside it. And here's the chilling part. It's not new. This storm has been raging for centuries, spinning, churning, unstoppable. It was tearing across Jupiter long before anyone alive today was born, and it'll still be going long after we're gone. And you're just a speck, tumbling through a machine of pure violence, and you are still falling. Now here's where Jupiter becomes a TRDUE nightmare. Remember, there is no surface. So you do not stop. You fall past the clouds, and the light begins to die. The bright banded sky above you fades to a deep, murky gloom, then to a darkness so total you cannot tell whether your eyes are open or closed. You aren't sinking into a sky anymore. You're sinking into something that is slowly turning solid around you. And then the pressure finds you. At first, it's just a weight, the feeling of the deepest ocean on Earth pressing in from every side at once. But you keep falling, and it keeps growing. 10 times that pressure, 100 times, 1,000. The atmosphere around you thickens into a soup so dense that you're not really falling through it anymore. You're sinking, slower and heavier, into a fluid that clamps down harder with every single mile. And you have already fallen further than your mind can hold. 100 miles, then 1,000. Deeper than the entire Earth is wide, and you are still nowhere near the bottom. Because there is no bottom. There is only more planet below you, and more below that. Now the heat catches up, hundreds of degrees, then thousands. Down here, closing in on Jupiter's buried heart, it burns hotter than the surface of the sun itself. Hot enough to melt any metal we have ever made, and then to melt the very idea of it. And this is where Jupiter does something impossible. Crushed and cooked hard enough, the hydrogen around you stops behaving like a gas. It stops behaving like any normal liquid. It becomes a glowing, churning ocean of liquid metal, a sea that exists nowhere else in the solar system, thousands of miles deep, wrapping the whole planet in a shell of molten light. You will never see it. Long before you reach that metal ocean, the pressure will have collapsed you inward, and the heat will have burned away whatever is left. And even that is not the bottom. The fall just goes on without you. And that is the part that truly breaks your brain. You were falling the entire time. There was never a flaw, never a moment of impact. Jupiter didn't kill you by stopping you. It killed you by never, ever letting you stop. Now you might be thinking, wait, a planet made of gas? Surely you just drift down gently, floating through thin air forever, like the world's longest parachute jump. That is the trap, and it's exactly backwards. Gas giant makes it sound soft, fluffy, harmless. It is none of those things. Jupiter goes from thin, freezing wisps at the very top to a crushing, superheated ocean of liquid metal at the bottom. And every single mile down tightens the screws a little more. This is not a gentle float through the clouds. This is a descent into a planet-sized vice, closing slowly around you the whole way down. So let's answer the question. Out of everything Jupiter throws at you, what actually gets you first? The radiation is already inside you before you arrive, but it's patient and it's slow. The suffocation and the cold hit within seconds of the clouds, and the crush waits below for whatever's left of your body. Realistically, you black out in the first 15 seconds. You freeze within the first minute, and then your body just keeps falling for hours, deeper and deeper into the crushing dark, long after you are already gone. Jupiter doesn't choose one way to kill you. It uses every single one, in order, top to bottom. And yet, here's the twist that makes Jupiter so much more than just a beautiful killer. This monster might actually be one of the reasons you're alive. Jupiter is so massive, and its gravity so overwhelming, that it acts like a giant bodyguard for the inner solar system. Many scientists believe it has spent billions of years quietly catching and hurling away comets and asteroids that could otherwise have come for Earth. And we've watched it happen. In 1994, a comet broke into pieces and slammed into Jupiter in a chain of titanic explosions, each impact scar bigger than our entire planet. Jupiter took those hits, not us. And don't forget what this world almost became. This failed star came so close to greatness. If Jupiter had been born just 80 times heavier, it could have ignited. And our solar system might have had 2 suns burning in the sky. Instead, it became this. A colossal guardian, glowing faintly in the dark at the edge of the light, watching over the small blue world where you are sitting, safe right now. So, could you survive Jupiter? You couldn't even find the ground to die on. It is the one planet that doesn't kill you by hitting you. It kills you by refusing to let you land, swallowing you whole into a fall that has no end. You would not survive Jupiter. Almost nothing could. But maybe that's exactly why we should be glad it's out there, the giant that never became a star, standing guard in the dark, so that we don't have to.